So in short, I have to explain the Docker architecture. You have this client, Docker host, Docker registry. Docker host contains the brain of the Docker, that is the Docker daemon. Client is the one with which we interact with the Docker daemon because we cannot directly interact with the Docker daemon. So client will put all the all the commands, and then Docker daemon decides whether the command is whether this command, suppose if they are asking for the pulling image, whether the image is available locally or not. If not, go with the registry. Registry is basically your Docker hub. Bring the image from there. Okay. And if they are asking for the Docker run, then check locally if image is available or not. If not, then go to the registry, bring the image and make container out of it. That's the whole architecture of Docker container. Right. Let's go to our next. Now comes to the main part, that creating a Docker file. Okay. Because if you have application and you want to run that application as a container or as an image, okay, and you want to put or share your application with, if I want to share my application with you guys, then I need this Docker file in my system. So Abhi, right now just focus on this file. Okay. Format you see, capital one is D or secure Docker file. This is the name you have to give to your Docker file. No dot, no nothing, only Docker file. That's it. Okay. Let's see how it looks like. The very first thing, understanding the Docker file, okay, is the run command. Okay. I mean, execute the command during the build process. But this is not the first command we generally put. These are the different types of command, but here it is. It's an example of the command. So let's understand with a smaller one. Okay. I have a application which uses HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And I want to run that application on a certain port, and I want to share that application with you guys. That's my main objective. So the very first thing that you will do is a from command. Okay, from is basically the baseline on which your application will run. To run any application, you require a web server for the web application. For Python, you require a Python in your system. So either you should have Python already, or I'll put in the this Docker file that the base image is Python. So it will check whether this image is available in your system or not locally. If it is not available, then it will download from the Docker hub. Okay. The very first task to install Python or Apache server manually is gone. You just have to write from Python and the tag name, from HTTPD and tag name. HTTPD is for the Apache server. You can use Nginx as well. Okay. Both are the servers for running web servers, for running the web application. Clear? The first command is the from. Because if it is, suppose if it is a Linux, your application run on Linux. So you should have Linux image in your system now. So you, in that case, you will write Linux, ya Ubuntu, whatever your application is compatible with. Second thing is that you have to copy all your current source code into the source code of this image, into the path of this image. So how do this image or the web server will come to know that application is actually exist? So here we set the working directory, that work directory is /app if the your application name is /app. So it will create a working directory first. Where it will create the /app? In the Python. Create a one folder with the name of app. And then copy the requirement. I'll come to this one later. Let's understand only this one, simple web app. So first what I'm doing, I'm copying everything of my source code into htdocs. So remember, if whenever you want to run your application on web server, that is the Apache server, you need to put your application in this folder, htdocs. So here I'm doing copy all my source code. This dot will copy all your source code and put it in the htdocs. And then I'm exposing to port 80. So when you will use my application, you have to use port 80 or do the port mapping and run on any port, whatever suitable for you. So let's go and create this part. Okay. So this is a app one, which contain one website, which is storytelling. We have seen in the last class. It is already having a Docker file. Let me delete this one. And just refresh it. Okay. We have seen the application last class. Let's see again. See, this application is fully built on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Nothing else. Okay. Can you answer what is the use of this Docker ignore file?
Yes.
Dot. Because it's similar like which one?
It ignore the files which we added in that docker ignore.
Ignore for what? From what?
Executing.
Hmm? Ignore from what?
Execute.
Execute. Or you can say ignore from creating image. So these file will not go for the creating the image. Okay. I don't want to put all these files and create image of it because this file doesn't make any sense for me. Git file doesn't contain the history because you only need my application. You doesn't need all these things. Okay. So right now I don't want to ignore this file. Rest everything is okay. Right now I just do this all. Save it. Okay. Node modules, I want to keep it. And what is the use of dot git ignore? I'll just delete this one for we'll come later with the start git ignore. That's it. Okay. What is the first task? Create a file with the name of Docker file. Okay. Now you can see this application is fully based on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So what is first my task? To create a server, web server. I need web server, which will be httpd colon. So what server name we are going to take? What was it? Which image? Alpine image. What is this Alpine over here? Can you say what is the use of Alpine? It's a tag, right? That's it.
Okay.
I'll just put the command, comment base. Okay. This is the very first layer, which will be the base for your web application. The second layer is copying the code into copying the source code into web server folder. Okay. These are commands, okay? Nothing I have to do. So copy command, copy by copy dot is everything into our slash esr slash local docs. Let's just confirm it. So okay. Copy dot usr slash local slash apache ache apache 2 and then htdocs. Okay. This task will copy all your this source file into this folder. And where you will find this folder in the Apache server. So far, so good. Any question? Good. So it's on you. Expose 80. I can write 80, 90, 20, anything. I want my application to run on any port number. So it's on you. Whatever the port number you give. And then I save it. That's it. Let's go to our I'll stop this one. Control D. Let's stop it. Okay. Let's go to the file location first. dir. I can see all the files. So code directory is here. Let's check. Okay. I want to go start this storytelling. CD. I have this Docker file. Okay. No. Our main task starts from here. So what do we have to do? We have to build Docker. See, you have your Docker file in your system. The next task is to create a image out of it. So we will use Docker build command is used to create the image. Okay. -t, t means tag. Okay. And what image name you want to give. Okay. So it's on you. It's a web app. So let's just use web app. DevOps. Okay. And at the end, you have to put dot, which basically says whatever the content I'm having as a Docker file and everything, make everything into this web app, the new name of your image. Build is for the command for creating the image, whereas -t is the command for giving the and this one tag. If I don't put any tag, it will by default take it as a latest tag as a latest. Clear this command? So the new name of your web application is web app DevOps. I'll press enter and see it is start creating the image. Extracting everything, combining and doing everything. Now if I do Docker image, images. So see, I have 3 images. This, this, and this. This one we created just now. So the very first task to create the image is done. Any question?
No.
Now we'll understand port mapping. We'll test the application first locally, whether it is running on the port 80 or not. Okay. So I'll do Docker run. No. For port mapping, what do you mean by port mapping? Okay. Docker run port mapping -p. This is the command. Now you need to suppose I want to run my the application image I'm having. I want to run on 8700 port number, but actually the application is running on port 80. Correct? My application is running on port 80. So
Yes.
what does it mean? That whatever the application or everything you will see over here, suppose if I go to here, I go to Jenkins. So by default, every application run on a port number. That is known as default port number or this one, image port number, you can say. If I go to documentation, so you can see it is by default Jenkins is running on port number 8080. Okay. And this is the volume. So we will come to this one in later classes. Okay. Don't bother about this one. To run Jenkins running on port 8080. But in my location, the moment I pull it, I want to run on port 8080, port 8090, port 8020. So this is known as host port. And this is known as container port or image port, you can say. Okay. Better go with the container port, because you are doing run now. So this one is your host port on which you want to run. And this one is the container port on which it is already running. Okay, and then the image. Okay, pretty simple port mapping. -p, the one port number you want to run, and the one it is already running. I can do 80 as well. If it is 80, people prefer 80 as well. But the thing is, if you already have something running on port 80, then what will you do? I'll run on a different container. I'll do 8050. Let's try it out. Okay. So what I'm going to do, Docker run -p, the port number. First, let's run on port 80, port 80, and then the image name. Okay. I can run on detachment -d, but let's run on first attachment. Okay, there's some error. So what it is saying, port are not available. It means it is saying 80 port is in use. Please use some other port. So let's use 8050. Press enter. So now it is running on 8050. Let's go to website. Sorry, web browser, localhost 8050, no? And press enter. See my application run. This was my application, HTML when we combined. Okay, so locally it's running well. We created Docker file, we created image out of it, and now we are testing locally. So locally it run quite well. No issue. Now let's go back to, now let's push our image to, see the moment I touch it, everything you will do, this is known as what mode it is? It is attach mode. Problem with attach mode, I cannot use any other command along with it. See, it is right now. If I hit any point over here, if I hit this one, then again it will run. So every task I'm doing over here, it detecting that one. Okay, because in and out conversation is going on. Application conversation with the container conversation. Okay. So I'll exit this now for Control D. I cannot use the terminal right now, right? So I exit using Control C. I exit this one. So our application is running well. If I want to run in, I can use -d -p as well. -d means detach mode. Okay. So detach mode, I can use the terminal along with the what? Terminal along with the running application simultaneously. In this case, this one, we will not able to use the terminal. But in this case, we'll be able to use it. Let's press enter. See, it gives you a ID. Okay. So I'll just cut it out. I'll do it again. Localhost 8050. Press enter. See, I'm able to run my application, but I don't see all these hectic things because it is running just one thing. Because it is running in what mode? Detach mode. It get detached from this command line. Okay. Earlier, it was in attach mode. Attach mode means -d if you are not using it, attach with your command line. So you can see in and out all the get operation over here. Why it is get? Because something is coming from the outside. The moment I use this application, if I click over here, anything, so this data is sent back to the Docker CLI. This is Docker CLI, sent back to here, and that's why it is get. But if some data from here to that application, then it will be put, not put, post, POST, post. So we are not sending any data, we are just receiving the information. That's why everything is get. Okay. Understood detach mode, attach mode, port mapping.
Yes.
This is just port mapping means this was the original port. I cannot change this one, remember, because Docker file contain this one. Your application has this one by default. But I want to run on some other port, I can. Because you have seen, initially I got problem with the port 80. Something else was running. I don't know what it is, but it was running. That's why it gave error. Okay. Port is not available. This is the very error. So the moment you see the message, change your port number. I change to some other port number, whatever I want. I can again change to the port number. I can do 8070, 8060, 8020, anything, whatever you want. Okay, but make it simple. Don't go too much complex number. 8527, such number, don't take it. Okay. Now, our next job is to push it to the Docker Hub. So simple command is Docker. But before doing that, do the Docker login. Okay, Docker login means to login. Okay, login successfully. It means my Docker. If it was not login, it would have said. See, it showed you the username as well.
Mm.
So Now I'll do docker push, and then you have to write your username with which it will identify you. Then colon slash and the image name. What was our image name? Copy your image name. Any tag you want to give along with it. Suppose I want to give the latest while sending. Okay, that's it. Docker push your username, web app, the image name of your application, and the tag. That's it. Any confusion? Press enter. So what it is saying to push repository tag does not exist. Sure. Oh, okay. Remember. Oh, so sorry. Before pushing, you need to give it a tag to your application. Okay, so docker tag. Okay, this tag is important. And the image name. And then use your this one. There it is. Your username slash image. Hmm. Tag has been given to this one. Now if I do docker images, take this one. Okay, this is the actual one. So you are going to, this is the actual tag of your image. Okay, it always comes along with your username. Yesterday also we have seen while cloning the hello world doesn't come only itself, rather it comes with a test container. So this was the tag given, the username one. Okay, for locally it's okay, but if you are sending, you need to give your username. Okay. Now use the docker push command. Docker push. Simple docker push and the image name, the tag which yeah. Now it has been pushed. Let's go back to our Docker registry. Where is our registry? Hmm. Here it is. Web app DevOps. Less than a minute ago. With what tag? Mm, latest tag. Understood? How to create image out of it, how to tag it, how to push it, code binding. See, so if you want, you can use my application using this. So I'm putting in chat box. Take my application. It is public. Okay, public view. Tag name should be the latest. Okay. whatever the tag name you see over here. Tag name will be the latest. Try this one. Because it automatically gives given the tag name. No, use the latest. Okay. Use the latest. Hmm. Take my application, run on your system. Okay. But remember, it's an application. You cannot see the source code. So I hope the first question that you have asked, that what is the use of Docker application, Docker over the GitHub, or why we are using Docker. Okay.
Yes.
So you can directly share the application. Now remember, for web application, you have to write Docker file like this. For Python application, you have to write it like this. For different type of application, for C++, for Java, you have to write based on the requirement. Okay. So what you guys can do, you can simply go to ChatGPT or any other AI tool, ask them to create a simple Java application, C++ application, or any type of, and ask them to create a Docker file of that application. So it will give you different Docker file for different application. Practice at least 5-6 Docker file for different application. In the interview, you can expect only these two. Either they will ask for the Python application or web application. Or if they ask you, create a Docker file simply. So just use this one. Okay. The command, this one, comment one. First, I will use the base image, then copy my web application to the directory, and then expose port. That's it. The general HTML, the general Docker command. But if they ask specifically, write a Docker file for a web app, then you write this one. Either you write HTTPS Alpine or Nginx Alpine, anything you can use. Copy dot to everything on docs. Okay. For all web application, always use this one. Okay. Because everything we are going to copy on HTML doc. And then at the end, expose the port. It can get more complicated, but for the basic, it's much more enough to make interviewer understand that you know the Docker file. Okay. They'll just see whether your approach is correct or not, whether you understand Docker file or not. Don't go too complicated. Just make it simple. Okay.
Mm.
Any further questions? Okay. Try this one out. Let me know how it goes. Push your own Docker file into the, not Docker file, push your own Docker image into the Docker Hub registry. Okay. And so that we all can see. That's all for today's class. Next class will be a little bit more complicated. We go to the volume mounting and some of the interview questions which are most asked. Okay. Couple of things. Docker network is also one of the important topic. We'll look into that one as well. Okay. Or if anything's left, we'll see in the next class. So tomorrow, shall we give a break for one day? You guys want to practice or shall we continue?
Yeah. You can provide a break for a day for practice.
Yeah, take one break. Okay, one day break. Understand everything. Perform different Docker files. Okay. I don't want to hurry and overburden with a lot of new command, new things. Just practice everything. Let me know how it goes. Okay. If any confusion, just ping me. I'll share this file with you. You know, Docker PS for the container. Okay. Everything is mentioned in the video as well. -D for the detach mode, without -D, attach mode. Okay. Yeah. Container name you can give like this. Try this command as well in your system. Okay. Port binding, we looked into the port binding as well. Host port, first one is the host port and the container port. Okay, everything is mentioned. Set the environment, don't go start and stop the container. Here it is. Try this one also. Instead of deleting directly from the UI, delete from the command. RM is for first, whenever you want to remove the image, first remove the container and then remove the image. Here it is. To remove the image, here it is. To delete the image. Because container depend upon the image. The first delete the container and then delete the image. Okay. Try all those things. I'll share this sheet with you. Video I'll upload it. Okay. Any more questions? You can talk to me directly. That's all.
Okay. वो आप गिट की भी कोई तो फाइल देने वाले थे.
Yeah, interview file. I'll share with you today. Okay. Thanks for reminding. Okay, guys. See you. Practice well. See you in day after tomorrow. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.